believer in this. I'm a big fucking believer in this. Most of our thoughts and emotions come from our stomach. It's not our brain. Everything starts in our stomach. Peter. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today, I want to get into fasting and how good it is for you, or what I've experienced myself. Now, some people call it intermittent fasting, whatever you call it, okay? Now, I want to just do this because this is tying in with my racing career, my racing diet, my allergies that I used to have. And you know what? There's so many people out there in the world that don't realize that you're actually allergic to certain foods, but you've built a tolerance for these foods that you don't see what the problem is. I mean, it's fascinating, guys. Like, I did a podcast on this recently, but we're going off on a bit of a different tangent, but I'm going to just repeat what I was saying in the last one. So, when I was racing and I was 15 years of age, guys. 15, 1-5. And it was my first year in racing cars now. I transferred from karting into racing cars. And I was feeling really tired. My concentration was fucked because from karts to cars, you've got to really up your game with fitness, etc., and healthy eating, and which I was doing. Problem was, I was getting really fucking tired, and I couldn't understand it. My concentration was gone. I was having actually quite a few crashes, right, which I shouldn't have been. All right. Then I looked at my diet. Like it was almost like the last thing. It was like a blind spot, the last thing to look at. And it was so weird that why wouldn't you look at your diet? Then we looked at my diet. So my mum and myself, she brought me down. I'm 15 years of age. Brings me down for an allergy test. I find out I'm allergic to tomato, wheat, yeast, dairy, gluten. I mean, just pretty much every fucking ingredient you can think of. I mean, and especially for a kid my age, at that age, that's a hell of a shock. And you see, the thing was, I didn't feel it because, number one, all I was used to was eating just the shit that I was eating. So I didn't know any better. I had nothing to gauge it off. Now, these days, if I'm eating healthy and if I have, let's say, some toast, bread, which I love, by the way, but I have my little moments where I have a good bit of it, loads of it, then I stop because I have to. But these days now, because I have a base of healthiness where I know how I feel and how good I feel, then if I eat bread, then I can notice the difference because I've got a comparison, right? Whereas back in my days in 15, because I never knew, I had nothing to compare it against. You see what I'm saying? So you'd be amazed, guys, what you are allergic to out there. I took an allergy test, got all this stuff done, changed my diet over fucking night. It was obviously for a 15-year-old, it was very hard to do, but I did it. And my concentration came back. I had more energy in the gym. I had more energy in the car. Just everything. And in fact, I even slept better. Honestly, it was absolutely amazing. And guys, so my point is here before we get into it, and fasting now is what I want to talk about. What I would suggest to anybody out there, if you are feeling tired, if you are feeling that your concentration goes, go for an allergy test. Now, by the way, when I'm saying all this, I do not try and come across like some fucking expert in health and nutrition and medicine here, okay? I'm just telling you my experience and what I've learned from my own bad experiences with food and things like this, etc. So, take from what you want. I totally understand. I'm just saying I'm not some fucking expert here. Alright, we're just marking that off here. Alright? Don't want to get in trouble for that. Okay. So where are we going now? So, okay. Basically, guys, so then I was reading about intermittent fasting. Now, fasting as well. Now, what I do, I mean, you should definitely look up the intermittent fasting, guys, right? On Google. But I got into fasting a few years ago. and I was actually suffering with gastritis. So I've been taking an antibiotic on and off. My doctor gives me a prescription that I can pick up monthly, which is cool because it's not a heavy prescription. It just helps to keep the bad acid away in your stomach. And you'd be surprised, guys, how much acid people have in their stomach without realizing it too. It's fucking frightening. And I would recommend going on acidophilus. I mean, that stuff is unbelievable. I got this multi-billion acidophilus tablets last week, and this was definitely the best one I've ever got. And I mean, it just, without getting graphic, it flushes out your system. I would suggest you drink loads of water. Give it about a week and it really starts to kick in, but it gives you the good bacteria back in your stomach. But what I do sometimes, before I take acidophilus, or if I'm taking a break from it, and I wouldn't say you necessarily have to take a break, I just get a bit lazy, to be honest, sometimes. But the fasting, what I do is I'll have a dinner at nighttime, maybe 6 or 7 o'clock, steak, veg, water after that, cups of tea, grand, but I won't eat until dinner the next day, so a 24-hour fast. Now, what I've experienced with a 24-hour fast is it starts to dry. Number one, it dries up all the acid in your stomach, right? It's almost like it chokes at the acid in your stomach. It's unbelievable. And then you start hearing your stomach going, all those noises, and like you'll almost have, like what I experienced when I had that big heavy acid buildup in my stomach. I'm not functioning properly. My head's not right. I'm thinking mushy. That's the only way to explain it. I know that sounds really weird, but it's almost like I've got mushy thinking. I'm more emotional. Things annoy me a lot easier. I mean, it really fucks with my head. I'm telling you now, it really fucks with my head. And in a 24-hour fast, you have your dinner the night before, you get up, and I'd say about 11 o'clock the next day, I'm starting to feel sharper in the head. It's almost like they've just wiped out all my insides and all that acid out of there. And it honestly, guys, it just chokes. It suffocates acid in your stomach. And I tell you, I think these prescription tablets my doc gives me are brilliant to get rid of it, especially if you go on a night out drinking. And like I would take one beforehand, and Jesus, they're amazing. Sometimes you feel invincible. That's the problem too. But intermittent fasting is so goddamn good for you. And what it does is it's kicking your body, physical body, back into life again. Because what you need to do is sometimes you need to go the other way. So what I mean by that is we need food, we need water to breathe, to live, right? To feed our bodies, to keep them going. Sometimes we need to go the opposite way. We need to get our body on the defense. Whereas it has to kickstart itself back into jumping and defending our bodies then, if you get me. So what it's doing is it's activating everything back up again. It has to automatically restart on its own. And you know the way we get tired after a big meal? Like, why are we getting tired? Surely, yeah, I know, obviously it's taking energy to absorb all the food, etc. And that's when you get a bit sleepy, your energy's going into eating that food. But surely, we'd just be looking at, well, we're going to wake up, right? Well, why don't we? Because our body's fucked. Now, you go the other way, you starve that stomach of yours. I'm telling you guys, by 11 o'clock the next day, you are feeling fucking good. Now, there's a side effect to that. You can feel fucking tired the next day. No doubt about it. And you'll be hungry. But I tell you guys, it's really good. Like, if you're hungry, then you eat. If you're tired, you go sleep. Like, if you did get me, I think that I'm a big believer in that. Big believer in if you're hungry, you eat. If you're not hungry, you don't fucking eat. Simple as that. So in other words, oh, well, sure, look, I might as well have some biscuits there and this and that and fucking blah, blah, blah. But you're not hungry. Don't fucking eat. And the fasting is so good, guys. If you ever try and do it, I would suggest maybe do a 12-hour fast. If you can do that, do an 18-hour fast. after that, do a 24-hour fast and see what happens and see how you feel. You're gonna feel tired. Obviously, drink water. That's a big one. Very big one. But guys, just sucking up and suffocating the acid in your stomach is such a big deal. And I am a big believer in this. I'm a big fucking believer in this. Most of our thoughts and emotions come from our stomach. It's not our brain. Everything starts in our stomach. Do you get what I mean? Like anytime something bothers you, we think about it up in our head, and then we have an emotional reaction in our stomach. This is such a huge thing. Gut health is essential. Now at the moment, I've been drinking like a fucking fish all summertime, so I gotta keep an eye on my stomach. But certainly take a month off the booze, see what happens, and just relax. What I would say is, if anybody is eating biscuits, like I've got a friend who actually suffered from diabetes, and within 4 months he lost 6 stone. And what he did was he said, suck it up, bitch. He got on with it, and he lost 6 fucking stone. Now, for my American Canadian listeners, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what that is in pounds. Hang on, let me actually just check that there now. I'm interested to know myself. But he did it, guys, and what he did is he just took out fucking those little tiny little biscuits, sweets. Oh, guys, hang on. So 6 stone is 84 pounds, guys. He pretty much almost lost half his body weight. Now, he's got diabetes. That's a different scenario. So I can't speak educatedly on that, but what I do know is, guys, fasting is a great thing. It's such a great thing. It's helped me cure some acid buildup. It's made my mind sharper, a lot fucking sharper, and it kickstarts your body back up again. Now, what I would say to you is this actually works for me, and I'm certainly no expert in this, right? But this shit sort of works for me, right? You know the way sometimes you gotta go cold turkey? Then there's sometimes, well, maybe you just build up to it. I'm a big believer in that sometimes you've got to know what you are. You've got to be self-aware of who you are. Like, does it overwhelm you if you go cold turkey? Can you do it for 1 or 2 days and all of a sudden you're back to fucking square one? In fact, you're even worse after fucking going back to square one. You're even eating more or smoking more or whatever the fuck it is. Or can you do it in stages? I'm really a big believer in being self-aware of which one you break down to. Now, obviously there's sometimes where you've got to go cold turkey, like, you know, if there was a fatal disease that you have or something and you've got to cut out cigarettes or booze or cakes or sugar or salt instantly, well then that's a totally different scenario. But I'm just on about the other stuff where if you want to cut down or quit something, find out which one works for you better. If you're eating all these biscuits at night, if you're eating 5 biscuits, let's say, a night, and that's where it's actually adding to your weight, well, why don't you just go down to 4 biscuits a night for the first couple of weeks? Or even 1 week, right? Fuck it, 2 weeks, whatever it is. Just go down 1. Then, a week or 2 later, whatever timeline you decide to go down to 3. Then the next couple of weeks, you go down to 2. So you're not shocking your body into anything bad. You're not getting overwhelmed. You're still having your fucking treats, right? And then even if you get to 0, maybe you can go, okay, I'll have a biscuit every second night. Like you're giving yourself that treat, and then maybe you extend it out to, instead of every second night, it's every 3rd night. You know? And it's a great way to not, and I think that's a big thing. You're shocking your body into something and it just crashes. It's like falling from a fucking 100-story building straight down onto the ground. Bang. Extreme to one extreme to one extreme. Well, that's what I would suggest to anybody. I hope this helps, guys. And listen, we're going to close this off. And just to remind everybody, I ain't some fucking doctor. I ain't some fucking medical nutritionist. I ain't some God knows whatever you call it. This is just the way I do approach my my health my method, and maybe it can work. Maybe it'll help. Hopefully it does help you guys, because, you know, look, I know it can be hard to give up shit from time to time. I know. And I honestly don't, and I'll finish with this. I genuinely don't believe it comes down to willpower. Willpower only gets you so far. I genuinely believe you gotta you got to want to change. Now, if you do think you don't want to give up the biscuits, but you do have to really give them up, try this. Do it in stages and give yourself a few weeks and see how you feel when you've realized, oh my God, I'm 50% down. And feel that progression in your head mentally. That mental victory is addictive. It really is. It's fucking addictive. So, hope it helps, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Peter
Walsh.